Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So brand new driver coming at us today from Mizuno RB. I wasn't expecting this one, I'll be honest. I mean, the 220 ST-Z just came. Bracket winner, ST-Z was so good. I actually didn't know that this one was coming. They kind of snuck this one up on us.
I think for them and like a lot of companies now, like, you know, if they have the opportunity to innovate or offer some type of innovation, they're going to do it. And we've talked about it a lot this year that stability really is the name of the game. And for this, the two new drivers, ST-Z and the X, like this is all about just adding that extra stability, fine tuning the driver, and, you know, just hopefully hitting a few more fairways.
Yeah, I mean, it's not we just finished doing the SM9 video there, and, you know, their tagline, it's not evolution, it's not a revolution, it's an evolution.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we'll get that one backwards a few times, but kind of the same here. I mean, there are some changes to the kind of construction of the driver. We've got 40% more carbon in the bottom. We've got 80% more weight at the back. So we are seeing weight savings, taking it and placing it where we need it, where the golfer needs it, trying to make it a more overall functional product while trying to still be the kind of high performance product that it was last year. Bracket winner.
Yeah.
It was, you know, beat out all the competition to win that bracket. And to do that, you know, you need to be fast, you need to be straight, it needs to be all those things.
And for me, like, the big thing is, like, we did a fitting with this driver earlier, and, you know, the big thing is the fact that there's a lot of weight at the back. So it's very high MOI. It also helps add a little bit of dynamic loft.
Yeah.
So for some players who need that, it can be very helpful. And again, like a lot of the technology, and I'm holding the older one here, but the difference in the weight in the back of it is pretty substantial, like how much more they've got back there. So, you know, those misses as you start to move around the club face, that's where you're going to see that extra ball speed, right? And people talk about extra ball speed, it's not off the center.
Yeah.
They're all max, really close to it, but it's when you start missing and you get that, it's able to hold through the impact, that's where it really helps.
For sure. And guys, Ryan touched on something that's really, really crucial there about the weight being at the back that increases dynamic loft. You might be scratching your head and say, why does the weight being at the back create dynamic loft? Well, the center of gravity on that shaft and the center of gravity on the head, well, when you have something that has movement in it like the shaft does, they two things are going to try to align with one another in motion. So as that golf club is coming down and the shaft is actually coming into lead deflection, that shaft in the middle of that head are trying to get in line with one another, which is what brings that head further forward and exposes more loft. So when we talk about heads with forward CG versus backward CG, obviously a head with forward CG is going to move forward less than something at the back. So that's why we say not every 9 degree or 10.5 is created equally. Probably a bigger factor than even static loft, or certainly to its equal, is where that weight is placed within the head. So, you know, we should emphasize that and talk about that when, you know, we're talking about the ST-Z 220 in those two weights that slide forward and back, RB. That's something, again, we can change dynamic loft with just the placement of those two weights on the other Mizuno driver. But we're on hole number 5 at the Majlis. Not a long hole, but it can be a tricky tee shot. You know, it's going to require a nicely placed tee shot out there, RB, to find the fairway. So we're looking for your nice little draw to come back in here.
I'm going to try. That's what I'm working on.
Let's have a look. All right, RB. So you have last year's ST-Z. You have it with an Acra 360 M4 tipped an inch. Something that's playing a little bit stronger than a stiff, but not quite an X-Flex for you, which is where you were when you were using this driver. You're a little quicker than that now. So how was this driver for you?
I liked it. I know we talked about it earlier in the video, like, you know, the delivered loft. Sometimes I find I get it a little high, trying to work on hitting more of a draw. It's a lot of me, not the driver. But what I love about it and what I've always loved about it is it's stable. Yeah. I felt like I could miss it around the face and I still kind of got it out there. So if the new one can offer more of that, then even better.
Okay, let's get a few openers with yours, and then we'll plug in the new head into your shaft as well.
Ooh.
A little bit high in the head. You kind of get a little extra out that one, so ball speed will be probably low 150s. Yeah, 152, but we get the high launch, low spinner. Kind of change of the pitch on that one. Nice though. It's another nice strike. Just a hair too much left. You'd have a little shot through those trees.
Yeah.
A little window. similar strike. That had a bit of shape to it. Maybe if the new one is a little bit more stable, perhaps we see some straighter lines come off the new driver. Nice, love that one. Oh, get through it. Go on, get out there.
Trees are 90% air.
Yeah, quicker there, definitely quicker. See that with modern drivers, a little bit lower in the head, we do tend to get a little bit more ball speed. Okay, one last one. Sounded fantastic. It's a really great sound when you hit those the Mizuno drivers well. I've always thought that. Yeah, right on the sort of equator line, just gives it that great sound. Okay, good job. Let's run through some numbers. So actually quite tight on the dispersion RPE. I mean, it's down the left. It's exaggerated because we are hitting it with that little draw. But nice numbers, 155.7, 14 launch, 2381. Really like that. Strike is on a good sort of vertical measurement, slightly on the toe, dynamic angle 6.5. I probably will talk about that a little bit more in a video pretty soon, but it's about sweet spot for most good players. You know, if you get that dynamic angle much flatter than that or much more up than that, you actually have some swing flaws that we probably have to address in the fit. So quite like that. Dynamic loft is good. 16.7, 17 is my magic number. So lots of good things happening there. Lots of good things. All right, let's plug in the new 220 and see what we can get.
Cool.
Sit that down. Tell me what you think of the footprint of it behind the ball.
I mean, right off the bat, it looks very similar. I think Mizuno has done a good job carving out like a particular shape that they've kind of fit into their drivers, and we see it. And the one thing that I like personally, because, you know, seeing the shots that I'm hitting now, like I like a driver that I feel like it can really open it up.
Yeah.
I like that look from address, and this gives me that. Now, a little longer heel toe than some, so it does that like for me. But again, I think it looks great. I almost feel like the paint's a little bit almost darker, like a real gloss. Like the other one's already glossy, but this just has a little bit of a deeper finish. But overall, I mean, if you're used to the shape of a Mizuno driver, this looks like a Mizuno driver.
Seamless, isn't it? Okay, let's see how this stacks up. We've got the same tee shot.
I don't know if that was, but it felt like one of my better ones there. Maybe it's a testament to the driver, like how stable it is. But I feel like I notice less. I can still feel it move around the face, like contact. But it's almost like it's harder to know where I hit it on the face, which I think is like a testament to.
For sure. Sounded good.
Sounded really good. It sounds a little deeper. Like it sounds a little bit more muted.
I think there's no doubt it's straighter in my mind. All right, RB, great job. Two quite different drivers. And you pulled a little sneaky one on us. Halfway through hitting the ST-Z last year's one, you shared a little secret with us that you had actually switched out the weight in the back. This little guy, you had switched that out for the X weight, the ST-X, the lighter driver. So you took the heavier weight out and popped the lighter one in because you were playing the driver long. Yeah,
I play it close to 46 inches. So I noticed that when it was with the original weight in it, it was good, but like it was just too heavy. I felt like I struggled with kind of controlling it a little bit.
Right.
So towards the end of last year, I ended up getting one of the lighter weights and putting it in the back of it. And immediately, like, longer length, felt like I could control a little bit more. I felt like I got a little bit more speed with it. And because, I mean, it's a big driver, so I didn't really feel like it had lost any stability with it, but there's definitely a notice and feel right away when I went to this one here.
Yeah, I mean, well, we look at that dynamic loft, which we kind of talked about at the start, and we're seeing that 20 gram weight at the back and what it's doing. There's no doubt about it. There's two things at play. You are retaining a more open face. You know, we could kind of see that with the shot pattern. You hit the new driver much straighter. No doubt about that whatsoever. But the spin was a little bit high because of that dynamic loft. So 20 is not our ideal number, where 17 is ideal. So you picked up some ball speed. So, you know, with a little refinement, this could be maybe a better driver for you. I'd maybe have you out of that shaft into something more tip stiff, into a lighter weight at the back, maybe get some hot melt and pop that weight a little further forward. I think you've got a little room to play with that. I think it's forgiving enough for you. And it could be quite interesting to see. So you've actually lost some yardage there, based on the launch conditions. Only basically spin. So there was kind of just under 800 RPMs difference in spin. So in the fit, the next stage would be, okay, I love the straightness. Now let's take that weight and let's start playing with that. Let's put 10 at the back and let's put some weight up front. You know, let's get that dynamic loft down a little bit with the change in lead deflection.
Going to new and using your same shaft is not going to immediately just pick you up results, right? Like,
really good point.
That previous driver I had was tuned, and I did like that little thing to it, that little trick, so it worked just for me exactly how I wanted to feel. And for golfers that are looking for something and looking for that upgrade, you know, if you have to really kind of dive into the specs of your current driver and find out why it's working, because we know why the other, like my previous driver, my current driver is working. So what can make this one work like that with the additional stability? Yeah,
I mean, you're right. It's not just a case of plug and play. There are exceptions. There's the John Rahms of the world that has his Alda Tour green, but he's probably playing with the head in order to get those dynamic specs right, rather than playing with the shaft in order to meet the specs of the head. So, you know, that's a unique one. But guys, you know, for you, just get fit. Just go out there and get fit. I mean, we preach it enough. We certainly, hopefully, show the benefits of being fit. You know, here in this scenario, Ryan's leaving significant yardage on the table. He's got his ball speed up. He's increased his launch ever so slightly, but his spin's popped up. So he's probably leaving somewhere in the region of another 15 yards on the table. So, you know, with a little change in that spin rate, we could definitely get him up over that 290 mark in total. But those are not bad numbers whatsoever, and I definitely preferred the shape of the new ST-Z, the 220 for you.
Yeah,
love it. Okay, guys, there's some fairway woods actually been added to the line as well. There's a new CLK. They're in-house. We will be doing more testing with those, so stay tuned, and we'll see you again soon.